Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Shop Boys, the podcast where Toronto's vintage fashion meets the city's hottest artists and celebrities. My name is Marcus Lawrence, aka Google Chromeboy, co-founder here at Relocation.
And I'm Pope, co-founder and head stylist here at Relocation. We're here to give you guys a taste of the social climate here in Toronto, the music, the fashion, the pop culture. You guys got to tap in with us, man.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's right. And if it's your first time watching, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe on whatever platform you're tapping in with us on. It's really going to go a long way, and we'd really appreciate it.
And while you're at it, visit shopboys.ca. Links to our Patreon, links to our shop, links to the sales that we got going on. But before anymore, who we got on the show?
We got the Toronto Blue Jays official DJ, Mr.
Jed Harper.
What's going on, everybody? It's Marcus Lawrence, aka Google Chromeboy. We're here at the Shop Boys podcast at Relocation Toronto.
Turning up here with Jed Harper. Shit, my bad. Plug Pope here. And we're about to get diving right into it, man. How you been, dude?
Good. Great to see you, man. It's been
awesome.
a minute.
It's been a minute. Give me a little love. Ooh. Yeah, man. It's been a minute, man. We go way back. Great times, good fun times. But tell us about yourself. Let the audience know who you are and what you got going on.
Where do I begin? Okay, so I guess my main thing is I DJ. I DJ a lot of like the big clubs in the city.
Clubs
Rebel,
like
Vegas.
I probably, yeah. I do Rebel Saturday night. And then, yeah, I do like a bunch of other spots. Maybe you've heard of the Rogers Center. I DJ for
I think I know that place.
Formerly known as ACC.
AKA the Skydome.
Or Skydome, sorry.
Yeah.
Skydome.
Yeah, so I've been the DJ for the Toronto Blue Jays, in stadium DJ for just over 10 years now.
Damn.
Yeah. And I make music. I do other stuff.
Sweet.
I walk my dog. It's like
Same.
it's my real job.
I live Midtown.
Here's his address. Play what you got.
How did the Jays thing come about for you?
Oh man. So at the time I had a manager, and they reached out to him, and I went in for an audition, and yeah, I guess they like what they saw.
That's crazy.
They kept two of us from the audition to work. And then I kind of just matured into the role as like the in-stadium DJ, and I just kind of never looked back from then. So it was a process though. Like I literally had to go in for like a full audition.
Probably like mad people gunning for that shit.
Like
right?
that's
huge.
So it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
If we rewind it a little bit, Blue Jays DJ, but then how did the DJing aspect even come about? It's like, was that a lifelong dream, or was it something like, hey, I'm gonna try this out? Give us that.
I mean, I started DJing when I was like 15.
Okay.
Messing around with like turntables, vinyl. Back then, like there was no MP3s, no Serato, none of that. So vinyl, the most like ghetto turntables like you could just get your hands on at the time. Like, I didn't grow up like, having the best equipment. I had the Radio Shack mixer, just go to I went to the pawn shop, I think, and got my first turntable.
Jeez.
And, like
that's the realest.
You're like putting a penny on the needles
so it weighs down.
But it is the realest though, because if you learn how to make that
work,
like then
you're
the other shit
with
is
everything.
Easy,
Yeah,
so
it's
like
fluid.
By the time I think I was like 18 or 19, I finally saved up enough to get like the 1200 turntables, and those were like the club standard. So by the time I could afford those, I was like, these are easy to mess with. Like,
this is light work.
I'm used to these ones. Are like, I gotta
just knock it in, punch it.
You gotta make sure the penny doesn't fall off.
So by then, and like so at that time, I'd done like high school dances and things like that, and by the time I went to university, I went to Ryerson, so started doing college parties, things like that, and it just kind of like, at the time, I wasn't even trying to be a club DJ, right? Yeah. So I was just like happy. I was just doing parties for fun. and then
some side bread,
and then an opportunity. Like I was like really focused on like finishing my degree. I went to school for radio and television, and I was like,
That makes
okay, I'm
sense.
gonna try to finish my schooling, make my mom proud. You know?
Is that not the story,
Right.
man? Is that
Did you
not
end
the
up
story?
finishing?
I did. I
Okay.
finished. I
Honestly,
finished.
good on you.
A lot of I don't want to say too much, but like a lot of they always used to call me Sleepy Jed because I would be the one falling asleep in class.
you're
Like,
probably
I'd be out
spinning
DJing,
all
I'd be out
day, yeah.
DJing, and then like those 8 a.m. classes, man, like. Whew, no way. Like
Yeah.
I would just be like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I know the one.
So
I know those ones.
somehow I did
100%.
finish and I did all right. But yeah, at the time I was just like trying to finish school and like I really didn't think of it as like, okay, this is gonna be my job for the
Right.
next like 15, 20
You didn't think there was a
years or
career in
whatever. I was
it.
like, it's just fun, right?
Yeah.
And I got an opportunity to do a club, and a friend got a man. This is going way back. So a friend that I knew from high school, I don't, was dating the owner. Let me put it simply.
Of the club. Okay.
And they had a DJ, and they were like, "Look, the DJ can't come tonight. Can you
cover?
cover?" I was
And-
like, "Shit!" And I had been helping out like at the club doing odd jobs and shit, right? So I was like, okay, yeah. Like I ran, to the record store, got
This is
like
sounding
Yeah.
juicy.
got as much of the new shit I could get my hands on. Like I still had
What
records,
was the
but I
new?
wasn't, like,
What was the
fully-
new shit at that point?
Oh, this is like the early 2000s, man. So
G-Unit,
like, yeah, all
Wheezy,
that,
Jock.
yeah, definitely. And then like R&B stuff too.
Oh, for
like
sure. That's when
Sure.
R&B still had a
Ludacris.
Donald Jones, I remember people like that. TLC.
Oh my goodness.
So tell me you took this dude's one night and then ended up greasing his whole job.
I don't, I never went into it with that.
Okay.
I went in and did my job, and I did a good job.
Yeah. Clearly.
And they were like, "Yo, do you want to come back next week?"
And then did you share that spot
no.
with? You just got the fucking boot.
That was it.
Homeboy fucked up.
Oopsies.
And then that was it, man. From that point on, it was like, basically every weekend since
Yeah.
then.
Are you comfortable
I've,
with saying which club that
spinning.
was? Or?
Yeah, it was a club called Inside.
Okay.
At that time,
Hey guys, comment below if you are familiar
with
with this inside
yeah.
club.
So maybe some people might know there was a famous basketball player that was involved.
Jamal McGlure.
No.
Oh,
no.
fuck.
A little bit later, a little bit earlier. You may have heard of Vince Carter.
Oh, I think I know that guy. I think I know that guy.
He ended up being one of the owners.
No
and,
way. Where was this?
Yeah.
Like,
So back in the day, there was like Richmond Street was
Yeah.
like all clubs.
yeah.
They're like every other spot was a club.
Right,
on Richmond
right.
Street, and it was right on Richmond.
That's jokes, man.
Richmond and Simcoe kind of area.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like it was a great experience. Like it was something I never expected to happen.
Right.
So I was all that more grateful to have it.
Right.
And yeah, just like again, we were talking earlier about like talent and hard work. It's like you get put in a position to do something like that. Like I never went into that position to take someone's job.
No, of course.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Of course
I got put in a position where I was like, okay, I got to do this.
Yeah.
And like I had the skill set.
You executed.
Yeah.
And I just did what I did best,
Yeah.
and that was it. And
Yeah.
and yeah, man, like looking
That was
back
the
on
talent
it was,
speaking.
It was just good timing. It was a bit of
Yeah.
luck,
And who you knew
and
too.
and
a
yeah,
big-
like
it's
I'd
big
say the hard
testament to-
work, right?
the
Like
hard work,
yeah,
yeah,
that as
exactly.
well,
Like,
of course.
You
the
executed
stars just
100%.
align. Like
Yeah.
because a lot of people can have those like, oh yeah, my friend got me the gig or this, that, the other, but if you don't have the talent to like maintain,
Yeah.
All the stars have to align, right?
yeah.
What do
so
they
I got
say
really
about
lucky, man.
luck?
It was
Luck is a mixture of preparation and
Yeah.
hard
Some other
work
shit.
kind of thing. And then
yeah, something like
something
that.
like
Yeah.
I don't know. I got bad luck. So.
Yeah. Look at you, man.
So yeah, I've definitely been blessed. So that kind of springboarded my career, and then I just like from there went on to like pretty much played at every major club at
Yeah.
some point.
And then when did the Jays
then.
thing start?
So that was around 2010, I think,
Man,
2011.
13 years, man.
That's
I know it's a
crazy.
long. It doesn't even feel like that. Like
Especially when you're doing something you
know?
love, right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
you're
like,
spinning the music as the games are going. Like, So that's sick.
That's crazy.
That's sick because I specifically remember being at Jay's games and being like, yo, they got the music lit up in this.
It's just
no
jumping.
cap. No, I was just there like
Okay, that means
last summer. Like last summer, no
Yeah.
lie. And I remember like my ex-girlfriend at the time was like turning up in the fucking in the stands.
That's
So you're
dope.
doing
This
your
shit's
job.
lit. This shit's lit. 100%.
But you were talking about like the days with the penny on the record. What kind of music were you spinning that? Was it like breakbeats, hip hop? Like
Mostly hip hop at that time. A little bit of house stuff. Like I think back then when you like, at least for me, like my vibe was like you had to play everything, right? Like you couldn't just be a hip hop DJ.
What was your
couldn't just
go-to
be a house
record,
DJ? Oh man, I love like Black Moon.
oh shit.
Like
You don't
those
even
were
know
some of
about
my
Black
first
Moon?
records. Yeah.
Oopsies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I learned how to DJ on those kind of records.
Black Moon. They were who got the props. No?
Smith and Wesson.
Oh, I saw Smith and Wesson live.
Yeah, like that was that era,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The
And then like
Bucktown, that
dude,
area.
yeah,
Any
I
Missy
love all that
Elliott?
stuff. I mean, once I started getting in the club scene,
But we're
yeah.
talking about when he first started.
Yeah, I'm talking
right?
about like when I first
when he was
started.
digging in
Yeah,
crates and
yeah.
shit.
Like I'm just really gonna date me, but like some Run DMC. I was,
Oh,
like,
I never
learning to
went
cut
that
with
far.
and stuff like. But when you're learning to like scratch and
I
stuff,
feel like it's
Yeah,
a must.
you're
It's a
kinda, like,
must to
learning
play
that.
around with that stuff. For real.
Yeah, and then I always had a passion for like disco and funk.
Say word.
Like
Say word.
I was like, it was kind of weird. Like I was that like weird guy in high school that's like searching for like Cheryl Lynn and like Sister
know that.
Sledge. These are like
Sister
disco.
Sledge.
It's like
Yeah,
70s
I don't know
stuff.
none
Like,
of this
I know
stuff.
some-
if you heard it, you would know it.
Like,
You
yeah,
know,
this
like,
is that.
like
Word.
Cheryl Lynn's like ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da.
Oh, yeah.
Ba-da-da-da, ba-da. You know?
It's like in movies.
And then I remember hearing like Jazzy Jeff, like he did a routine where he was like scratching that.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
that was a
Hairs up
huge
on your neck. You're
inspiration
like,
for me.
I need to do
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah.
with you're saying that you're diving into like kind of like funkier music back in the day. Are you fucking with the type of music that's being produced now? Like since we have so much cross genres, like we have hyper punk pop,
Okay.
pop
Yeah.
hyper, like you know what I mean? Like with this new age of music, is it?
I think there's so much exciting music coming out right now. There was a while, like a couple years ago, where I was kind of like, it was kind of a lull for me. I was like,
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of energy, but now like, yeah, like that I love the hyper pop kind of stuff, like Pink Panthers and like and these kind of artists and like
Break-Ins is a really good one. I don't know if
I gotta check that. I don't,
5G, right? You hate this track, but I love it. It says Break-Ins. Oh my god,
Okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
tap you in. I'm gonna tap.
Break-Ins?
okay, yeah.
That's his name, Break-Ins.
Never heard of it.
There's
It'll
some
be
really
my
cool
crush
stuff.
when I kick it core.
Oh, that kid.
That,
You
yeah.
love that kid. Yeah.
Yummy.
Come on.
And I love the inspiration. Actually, there's a track I got to send you. My boy Dozy, he did this track, and it's like on a UKG kind of style beat.
Yeah.
And I love that young rappers are kind of pulling from all these different
Genres,
sources
yeah,
and genres.
strings.
And I'm like, whoa, like where did you even hear this? And he's like, yo, some guy like from Sweden produced this beat, and like I fuck with it, so
It
I jumped on
resonated.
it, and I'm like, yo, this is so dope. Like it's really cool and it's fresh and it's new and exciting. So like it's a really fun time. I will say it's a hard time because there's so
much more music,
And, like,
so much more content.
even as a DJ, it's like you're just bombarded. Like there's like 20,000 songs every single day.
That's
And it's like,
exactly-
how do
I could
like,
only imagine.
you
bro.
know,
it's the
how do
same
I
thing
sit
with
through it?
fashion. We sit here. I will at least me. I can say it because he gets to enjoy the nuances of the vintage fashion and where like things are kind of consistent and you get to find that consistency in pieces. Right. Me coming from more of a fast fashion background. Every day or every week, there's a new collection, there's a new collaboration. There's
it's like the
right,
shit.
and it's just way too fast. Like consumerism has
it's
very
crazy.
turned the craft and the art into the longevity of certain collections to make it hold its value and make it seem like, oh, this is sick because it's been around for so long and everyone still likes it and it's like timeless and stuff like that. With the speed of everything coming out, it's like you can't even
hard to keep
appreciate
up.
it.
Yeah,
It's hard to keep up.
And then you're always
100%.
going back to those classic things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I mean the Jordan ones. Like I see them hanging from the ceiling, and like
You know the vibe.
yeah, and like I mean I'm wearing a pair right
Yeah,
now. Too. It's like
So is he.
you know, like you always go back to those classics, and,
Yeah.
and it's funny with music too. I find it is a really exciting time for music, but a lot of times people are kind of like they play it safe and especially in the club world, I find too.
Oh my god! Okay, don't get me started.
And again, because there's so many niches, right? Like one thing might be popping, like for you, but like for me, like for example, I'm playing a venue with like 3,000 people, and it's like, okay,
there's so
that
many
one
different people in that 3,000.
Exactly. So like, yeah, sometimes you kind of like, okay, maybe this record's not gonna hit for those people. I mean, but I like this.
I like it. Let's go top 40 though, just so we can make sure everyone's having a good time.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's just put on some Ice Spice.
I do try to like, I mean, Ice Spice is amazing.
She's nasty.
He's part of the Spice cabinet.
She is amazing.
Munchy.
Like, you know,
he's a munch.
Yeah, she's unbelievable. But you know, there's not enough people like her cutting through, you know, like
to make it consistent for everyone. To
it's few and far between that like person really connects with the audience. Right? Even I was playing a party. I don't want to say where, but actually it was on the East Coast of Canada, and I literally had a girl. I played Munch, and like this was in like December maybe of like last year, and they were like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
what?
Like, this is a hot record.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm like, okay, let me go back. Let me go back and play some.
Let me throw some Neil Young on, buddy.
Britney Spears or something. Like, I'm like, what? How are you guys not fucking with this?
But I bet you $1,000 right now. You go over there. They're like. I'm in the mood. Or some crazy shit.
So it was weird, right?
Like So you just talking about female artists and female rappers. I see that you did the Glorilla.
Yeah, she was dope.
Yeah, what's that? He mentioned something about it, but
so she performed at Rebel a couple weeks back, and so I said I was like it's my residency, so I was like warming up the stage for her, and then she came on and did like a handful of songs, and man, she was like on point. Like she was dope. Really great performer, really great person.
Really? How big are her teeth?
I didn't look that close to be honest, but her tour DJ was an awesome dude, and like, you know, we kind of vibed too. Like after her performance, I went back on, and she was just having a great time. And I love artists like that like just are having fun
naturally.
No, they're not like, oh, my performance is done, I'm just gonna.
They don't let the stardom make sure, like, they don't make the stardom.
She was legit, like having a good time. She's partying, having
she
fun,
seems like that. She seems very tangible.
Yeah, I really like. I like that. And like that's another weird record. Like I love the F&F record, and Tomorrow's a huge record. But again, like a lot of DJs in the DJ community are like, you know, F&F's huge, Glorilla, like she's popping right now. But like it took a while for me to like get that record to work.
Yeah, in the club
environments. And I remember like asking another DJ, I'm like, yo, are you messing with this record? And like he was like, yeah. And he's a Vegas DJ, and he was like, yeah, like not in a top 40 room, like it doesn't really hit. He's like, if I'm playing a rap club, 100%. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like I really love this record.
It seems like one of the tribulations that DJs have is like being able to really taste make for the room, because like there's so much more music out there, right? Like like before you'd be able to play, you know, fucking Uzi track, or you'd be able to play a Drake track, and it just or a Future. That's a great perfect example. A Future song, and everyone's like, mask off. Yeah, right. But then now it's like,
I haven't been to a club or outing where I've heard Future. Like,
I haven't really been playing a lot of Future.
You get what I'm saying? And it's like, now where's the taste at? Where's the music palette standing? And it's just so much people listening to so much different shit, where it's like it's almost becoming impossible to really hit everything on the nail, unless you have this hyper pop female artist with a bit of R&B, where it's like a amalgamation of it all.
It definitely seems like, well, most of the female artists seem to be doing it, definitely. I mean, like Stallion and City Girls and all these female artists are really killing it. Like, they're not stopping. The crossover.
Yeah,
you know, like
it's easier. I feel like it's easier for them. I feel like it's a lot easier for them to like be like digestible in that crossover, right? Like the first crossover I ever heard, and I think you guys might laugh at me, but I remember when Kanye West started singing, And I was like, what the fuck?
Those like
808 Heartbeats?
Yeah, they do have that, dude.
I heard that,
2000s.
and I was like, he's a rapper though.
Yeah.
What is he doing? I was lost. But over time it grew on me. I loved it. But now you have Trippie Redd.
Everybody's doing
Trippie Redd is fucking sick.
I love that kid, man. Uzi, you have a bunch. You have Drake, right? Drake is another good embodiment of rapping, the singing, right? And it's just like this cross pollination of all this music genres. Hey yo, Shop Boy listeners, as you know, Mark and I are vintage fashion enthusiasts and store owners. Our shop, Relocation, specializes in streetwear vintage clothing that's sourced from all over the world.
That's right, Pope. And we wanted to take a quick little moment to tell you guys about our Patreon community. By signing up, you'll get access to exclusive perks like discounts on our vintage clothing, behind the scenes content of the podcast, and even a reservation email list for new arrivals in the shop.
That's a fact, Mark. Our email list is a special benefit for our Patreon supporters. Whenever we get a new vintage piece in, we'll send you an email with photos and details about each item. This means you'll have first dibs on the best clothing, vintage clothing, before anybody else.
And not only that, but you'll also get discounts on our already affordable vintage clothing. It's our way of saying thank you to you guys for supporting us, the shop, and the show.
Hey, yo, we know that vintage fashion isn't always the most accessible option for everyone, which is why we want to make it easier for our listeners to get their hands on some unique, stylish pieces. By joining our Patreon community, you'll be helping us continue and curate the best vintage clothing and bring you some dope-ass content.
So take a second, head over to patreon.com/shopboys, sign up, and become a part of the community. We can't wait to share our latest vintage finds with you and also give you a glimpse into the world of vintage fashion.
Hey, yo, thanks for tuning in, but let's get right back to it, man.
Let's get it.
Speaking of Drake, this is definitely something I wanted to touch on is the whole AI.
Yeah, we're about to get there with it.
Yeah, that's literally on our list. That's on our list of things.
So give me your impression on it. Like, what do you think?
It's weird. It's a weird time.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, man.
I heard something about how they.
It's crazy. I have mixed feelings about it because I think on one hand, the guy who did that ghostwriter thing,
yep.
He made a comment about how as a tool for him to create reference tracks or something to pitch to artists and stuff like that, it's an amazing tool.
Absolutely.
And I see that as someone who's worked in the production side of things, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great way to look at it.
Great usage.
But yeah,
but that's not what he did though. He published it and monetized it.
That's
that's where the problem is, right?
But then I'm looking at where I've used AI programs, I've gone on Chat GPT and had it write a write up for me. Okay, so I used it to that. I've used some graphic generators
100%.
and I'm like, oh, this makes my life a little easier because I'm not the greatest graphic designer.
I'm not trying to throw
a little something.
Yeah, I'm not trying to throw cash at this guy. Here's $80 to make me a picture.
Graphic
And there's some really cool tools out there, right? So and then you start going a little further, and I just recently saw AI designed Nike.
Oh, you seen the ad, right?
Yeah.
On the desert?
What was that?
Yes.
Oh my God. I was looking at
I haven't heard of this.
It's
Nike,
fire though.
Fire.
The designs are
Okay,
fire.
I was kind of I thought it was real. I was like, I'm
this
swiping.
What is it? What is it?
So it was a campaign, right?
Yeah.
So Nike dropped a campaign. And it was an AI generated campaign at the time. Not at the time. It is.
And it was an actual Nike campaign.
It was on Hypebeast. I think I saw it on Hypebeast.
Yeah.
Not on Nike. I don't follow Nike. I follow Hypebeast. But I'm looking at these pictures, dude. And I'm like, photographers are out the window.
Yeah.
Graphic designers are out the window.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Friggin' just so much jobs are just.
What was the campaign?
It was just Nike clothing. It was Nike clothing. And the campaign was Nike AI generated clothing.
Yeah. And it was very
were the models
industrial. I don't
were the models real?
I don't
Probably
that I don't
not.
know, and I probably not.
Probably these things looked real.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was
crazy.
insane.
And I was like, I would buy that.
Yeah, I want that. I want that vest.
It was very utilitarian, type stuff. So
exactly,
it was cool.
exactly. Mac meets Nike meets
It's
tomorrow.
ACG shit.
It was really futuristic. It was cool, but where do you draw the line? Is it okay for those people to lose their jobs?
Right.
Is it okay I don't think it's okay for designers to lose their jobs. And I think there's a breaking point where AI can't replicate certain things.
Right.
It's only as good as what you put into it, right?
Right.
Like even with the writing, like that guy had to write those lyrics.
Yeah, he had to write those lyrics and
I-
probably perform it too.
You know?
He had to
Yeah,
like
something like
to
that,
match
yeah.
the cadence, right?
Yeah.
But then his voice now is just like
Yeah, it was something like that.
I heard there was a music lawyer that I follow that was talking about this whole situation.
Yeah.
He said that there's most likely going to be a lawsuit for defamation of
It's a good
Drake's
time. It's a good time to be a music
likeness.
lawyer.
oh, for real.
So that kid's probably going to get fucked for all the money he made off of that, and
For sure.
and then some. But I think the catch-22 is he's going to get a fuck ton of work from it.
Oh,
Possibly.
100%. He
Yeah.
probably Drake probably said, "No, we're not going to sue this kid. We're just going to take him."
No, well, it wouldn't come down to Drake himself; it'd be the label. And shit.
Yeah, who knows
They're
what the
gonna
end result
fuck
is
'em.
there, but
Yeah,
like
they're gonna fuck 'em at
In
the
a lot
end
of
of the
cases,
day.
though, like that's what happens. Like people do something a little risky,
Yeah.
and it can
Yeah.
bite you in the ass, but it can also
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
oh shit,
That silver lining.
that
We're
bite-
just talking
that guy.
about
Once
it,
that
man.
bite heals, then it's like,
Yeah, it could open a lot of doors.
No,
like-
for sure. I think it will. I think
So
that's what's gonna
I don't know.
happen.
It's a touchy subject, but then like I think too, like going back to like what I do for a living, what's the next step? Like
AI DJs.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
you have playlists,
Yeah.
like AI's generating playlists for you.
Perfect
Yeah.
transitions.
Spotify's already started doing things where like it mixes
Right.
like the tracks or like it matches the beat at the last like 10 seconds and
Yeah,
stuff like
the
that.
transition's perfect.
Yeah,
it's like
and I'm
it's like,
like, whoa, what
BPMs
the heck?
hitting. There's no
Yeah.
nothing. It's just nuts, man.
That's fucked.
I mean, it's not there yet, but like how far
Yeah,
how
yeah,
far
yeah,
away
yeah.
is
Well, they
it,
probably
you know?
have.
Hey, well, I mean, if we can think about it, I'm sure.
I mean, I still
I can't think about
it's in the
AI
realm
6
of
months ago.
reality. Like,
but I do still think that like an AI can't perform.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Drake still has to get up on a stage
and get in front of all
and
these
sell
people.
tickets
Yeah.
and do his thing, right?
Until
Like,
they fucking
whether or not the
bring out the
original
monogram
content-
technology.
They did with Tupac. They already did that. They already did
Exactly.
with Tupac.
So
But the same thing.
We're gonna be going to hologram.
yeah,
Same thing with the
exactly.
AI, right? Like creating music and designing and stuff. Like as a consumer of the pieces and stuff, like if I knew this collection was fabricated by an AI, like that would definitely sway me from not buying.
Yeah.
Because then I'd be like, this isn't like,
You.
I would,
But
personally.
But mass market though.
Yeah,
mass market.
most no. Most
you-
will be like, yo, this is my AI jacket.
Yeah,
Like,
Because I feel like okay, anyone that's already going for like a more tailored look or like a unique look,
Yeah.
they're going to people already to get those pieces, right? So they're not going to buy an AI thing, but like
the mass
H&M
market.
or whatever, like
Yeah.
one of these big clothing brands.
Look at Shein. Shein right
Boom.
now is like what,
Boom.
$6 billion in value, and they just started like 22 months ago or some shit.
I wonder how AI is going to eventually affect the vintage clothing market.
I don't think it's going to be able to.
And
I don't
I
think
know
it can
it
affect it
started
really,
to.
though. Is it? How?
Yeah, it has, because I know there's companies that have paid people to build AIs to automatically list their items online for them across
okay.
multiple platforms.
But that's
So
a-
all you have to do is feed the AI a picture of it. The AI, just like Google Images, picks up on what that is, creates the listing from other listings online, and publishes it across
Right.
platforms.
But that's
Isn't
like a
that good
job.
for business?
That's
Isn't
a
that,
great
like-
for business.
Like
That's
that
not
can
like
help
an-
your business, right? But they
Yes.
can't like make a Jordan jersey from
No,
19.
no.
You know what I
The
mean?
AI
Right?
can't go
Like, it
pick
can't go like-
clothing.
Exactly,
No,
exactly.
can't go digging through
They're
garbage.
just gonna be like another. There's gonna be like another job.
But
Like, it's gonna be
that
another-
is, I know, like the tip of the iceberg
Yeah.
on how AI has actually touched into vintage clothing.
fuck. We don't know where the fuck it can go. Like,
and that is
Yeah.
taking jobs from people. still.
that exactly.
Somebody
300
did have to list that item.
300
Right.
million jobs throughout the world are supposedly going to be taken away, man.
Yeah, it's a crazy. I think like there's going to be a big shift. I think in the
Huge
next like,
shift. It's
few years.
the new age of slavery without the whip. Hey,
I don't
Where'd you
even
grow
wanna think
up?
about that? I actually grew up in Newmarket.
let's get off that
Shut the fuck up.
topic.
Yeah.
So did I.
For real?
Yeah, where'd you go?
Newmarket High.
No fucking way. I went to Huron.
What a name.
That's fucking hilarious, dude.
My
Wait, how
mom,
old
my
are you?
mom went to Huron. How about that?
No way. Me and his mom went to the same high school. How old are you?
If you don't need to, you don't have to disclose it.
I don't know if you want to. Yeah, you can tell me after. We probably know some of the same people.
I'm
though.
older than you. Let me put it that way.
Okay, fair. That's crazy. Yeah, I grew up in half Newmarket, half Scarborough.
Yeah, I moved like I grew up like my childhood there, and then
Yeah.
like I said, I went to Ryerson. So once I came down for school, I kind of just stayed.
Right.
The occasional like went back for
pops
for
and moms.
Well, I tried to go back for a summer. I actually like
Newmarket fucking sucks.
I had a studio there like that I tried to do one summer, and I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, you used to go to the arts.
Of course. Yeah.
So growing up, what was your go-to fit? Like, what was some of the brands that you're like?
That's where I was going with. Yeah, like because you were saying you were spinning like Black Moon and fucking like J. Rue the Damager and shit. So, how were you dressing back then?
Definitely a lot of starter caps and jerseys.
Safe.
And
safe.
I'm pretty sure I had the Bulls. I'm not pretty sure. I'm sure I had the Bulls jersey, the jacket with the cityscape on the back.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Was it like
I wish I kept that.
The satin one? Or?
Yeah. I wish
those
I had
things
that still. I still have my like Bulls like button up. The jersey style.
Okay.
The
baseball jersey.
I still have a couple of those in storage.
If you need to get rid of them, just let us know.
Now I know the spot.
Holler.
We can relocate some of this gear, man. Get up to that Patreon.
We'll cash
you
you
get
out.
the first access to it.
So that was definitely big on the list. Like Tim's were like Air Max 1s a lot.
What years would this have been?
Or
you're gonna expose your age.
My first Jordans were like 4s.
Okay.
Word.
But legit.
Like legit, it was like he was just rocking the
legit 4s. But I was a kid. I was like a little kid.
Man, dude, that what a time to be alive.
It was
for real.
Cool.
This is our third reference.
I can't believe
to
this
that
motherfucker
album.
went to Newmarket High, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
My sister went to Pickering College.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
right around the corner.
I didn't go anywhere in Newmarket as well.
Yeah, Newmarket sucks. They call it Spew Market.
Really? I've never heard it referred to that way, but I haven't lived there in like 20 years, so I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't lived there almost 10 years now, too.
Okay.
So when you're... this is more of a personal question for me. When you're around, like, you're not only doing Rebel and you're not only in Toronto. Like your reach is like more global, but
trying to be.
It's getting global. It's getting very North America. Like you do more outside the city. Let's tap into that for a second. How's that? Like where do we go sometimes?
So like I've been fortunate to like go all over. My favorite place right now is Costa Rica.
Damn.
Shit. Why is that? Is the women?
No, I'm newly engaged, by the way.
Congratulations, man.
To a wonderful woman who loves going to Costa Rica.
Daddy Harper.
Daddy Harper.
So we love traveling, and like I've been really blessed to have been able to travel and like being able to DJ and travel. Like some of the coolest places I've been, like Beijing, Shanghai.
The fuck, for real, eh?
Yeah, I was able to DJ out there, and like
that's crazy.
What other cool places I've DJ'd? Like,
weren't you just
Mexico.
in Vegas?
I haven't been to Vegas in a minute. I was not just in Vegas.
Where were you just?
I was in Florida.
Oh, okay.
I was in Miami. And I haven't DJ'd in Miami in a couple of years, but I've done it in the past.
It's probably fucking wild.
But I've been like super blessed to have been able to like literally go around the world and like,
man, that's sweet.
Stuff.
Does that, have you ever gotten to a point in your career where you're like, fuck, like you caught yourself and like, man, this is kind of getting to my head. Like I'm like the like being around.
It always does. Yeah.
Oh, like being around superstars, being around, all these like mega bigger than life people. Do you sometimes get caught being like, fuck, I'm bigger than life? Or
I'm him.
I'm
him. I think like, I think that's why I've been, another reason why I've been consistent in this game is that, and I just saw a post from, I don't know if you remember, he played for the Raptors, Rondé Hollis Jefferson. He played in like 2020 maybe, I can't remember.
Yes,
he was like a bench guy.
Yes, I actually do. I do.
They call him Chap. Is his like?
He was like kind of. He's more of a bigger guy.
I mean, yeah,
they're all bigger guys. They're all bigger.
They're all bigger than us.
We're talking about the NBA here, buddy.
These guys are humanoid.
But yeah, he has this like mantra that he calls Chap, and that's kind of his nickname, right? But it has to do with like being humble and patient, and like I forget what the C stands for, but like I think one of the reasons I've been so lucky to be consistent in this game is that like I do humble myself every time I'm in these situations, like with whether it's like Future or Glorilla or Cardi B or
like literally
I've been on stage with some crazy people,
like side by side. That's why I'm like, I could not. I could like I could imagine being like there and being like.
That
you stay professional.
Like that should get so into your head.
if I was
I know you well enough.
Like, I'm that nigga. Are you
exactly.
But then I think after a day or two, I'd be like, okay, obviously I'm not.
But yeah, you got to stay professional though. Like if you're fanboying, like I'm not gonna get booked next time.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna be like, oh, we'll use someone else who's more professional, right? So like, I always gotta stay professional. I gotta like keep my composure.
It never spills out in your regular day life when you're amongst regular people.
Yeah, man. I mean, like at the end of the day, like, what do I like going down the street to the Dog and Bear and watching basketball games, like with my homie, like
human.
Yeah, like
I love that.
That's me. Like that's me. Like. What I do on stage, like that's Jed Harper, like as a performer,
like as a persona, yeah.
But like me is I get up, I walk my dog,
take a note, take notes, man, guys, take notes.
Yeah, this kind of plays into the convo that we were having before we started rolling too. Right?
Yeah, like
it's like people get that superstar mentality.
You get the bad, you get too big, and you start to feel like
it's really important, man. Like, and I think like I was humbled. When I don't know if you guys remember, there was a club called Circa. It might have been a little bit before you guys. Like, it was a crazy club. Okay, so it was owned by this guy Peter Gation, who was like this crazy like club owner. Canadian guy, but he owned all these crazy clubs in New York. He owned the tunnel.
Is that Xander's dad?
That is Xander's dad. Yeah.
Oh my God! There's a movie about this motherfucker.
Yeah. So this is
Xander's pop. Shout out Xander, man.
Yeah. So I was a resident DJ at that club and got to perform with crazy people.
Yeah.
Like Kanye, Wyclef,
Jesus Christ.
David Guetta, like so they
really
like from hip hop to like EDM guys, like
that's fucking
Justice,
sweet.
Like it was crazy. It was a crazy time.
Like the band?
Yeah, it was a crazy time for music. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And so I was involved in that club, and like when it shut down, man, like I was like super depressed, like really, really depressed. Like you got to remember, like when you get to that stage and you're playing for like large crowds,
that's serotonin boost,
and then that gets taken away.
Yeah,
you're like it was like coming down like from drugs. Like,
no, for
I
real.
Was like on a high. I was feeling
you had that
myself.
natural serotonin.
It was natural dopamine, and now it's not getting reached.
And I was feeling myself at that time a little bit.
Oh man!
So when that happened, I was like, man, I was pretty depressed. Like there was a time where I was like, fuck, man, like what am I gonna do? Like how am I gonna bounce back from this? Like, oh, I'm playing for 3,000 people and now I'm playing for like 250 people. Like this sucks. But then like eventually I was like, you know what? No, it doesn't. Like I'm still playing music.
I'm still doing this.
I'm still DJing. I'm still making people have a good time.
Yeah.
And like, after a period of time, like things picked up again, and like
now you're fucking spinning in front of the fucking
now I'm back
Jays
at Rebel
crowd.
and Jays and all that. So
how many people are at a Jays game usually?
I mean, there can be anywhere like up to 45, 50,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
so you were bumming over 2K. You're like, you have 40K.
Damn it!
But hey, that's just a lot about like perseverance,
exactly.
right?
Like consistency, like you're saying, like consistency.
No, you got to keep up with it.
You probably use that as a learning curve, being like, hey, you checked yourself, as you're saying, like maybe it's not all that, and it doesn't identify. It's not my identity. Like I don't need it to identify me.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I need to really appreciate what I got going on right now.
Yeah,
that's fucking gangster.
So I wake up every day appreciating, and another thing too, it helps you plan.
Oh, you're fucking for real. That's a fact.
So when, like, for example, when the pandemic hit, like, I'm not saying I was great, but I was planned. I was ready for that thing to come and scoop everything up from
that
under,
downturn again.
And when that happened, I was like, okay, you know what? Like, this is going to be a struggle, but I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I was.
Yeah. You were uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think like that's something I try to stress to like other, especially up and coming DJs and stuff. Like, know that one day it can all be taken away.
Don't put all your eggs in one
Right.
basket.
That's with a lot of
Be
things.
ready, right? Like you gotta like put a little aside for that rainy day.
Always. We
know?
realized that this year with
Oh
our
my
own
God,
business, right?
But yeah, man, like I said, like that humbled me, and now I know, like, you know, I gotta always present myself, like I said, professionally and like in a honest and
Human
humble
way.
human way. Yeah, exactly.
So you've dropped a lot of names like Kanye, Future, Glorilla, David Guetta.
Fuck.
Where does Drake fall into this in your story? You met him, you worked with him.
He's been on the same stage. The funniest Drake story I have, I didn't even know it, was he came to my house one day.
What the fuck?
So but I didn't know.
What the
No,
fuck?
it's not as cool as it
Weird
sounds.
flex, but okay.
It's not as cool as it sounds. So my boy Junior Flow, shout out Keys and Crates, Junior Flow.
I heard of that, yeah.
He was DJing for him this is again in the early days.
Right.
Actually going back to Circa, Drake used to MC at Circa. Like he was like like a hype man. At sometimes he would do stuff. I mean, I wasn't really involved in those events, but he was around. But they were doing a show, and my buddy was his DJ for that night, and they didn't have needles. There was something fucked up with the needles, and,
So you
and
had
my
to
boy
go
calls
pick
me up.
them
He's
up
like,
on
"Yo, can I come get the needles?" So they rolled up to my house, and like Drake stayed in the car. That was like it wasn't that cool.
Dude, this
but
guy was
still, he rolled
50
up.
meters on, like,
Yeah, he was on your property.
yeah.
They got the needles. They went and did the show and whatever.
That's
it was
fucking
cool.
nuts, man.
This is getting clipped.
But,
100%.
yeah, it was cool. But like
That is
when I
super-
did, I think it was French Montana. Drake came up on stage, and I was doing the show with French Montana at Rebel.
2019?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right before the end of the world?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, it was so stressful though, man. Like
That's crazy.
when someone of that stature's at the club,
And
like
it's on you.
it's stress, man.
Yeah, no. I could only imagine. I think I went to Mercer Maison Mercer on it's Mercer Street.
Yeah, Mercer Street. Yeah, I used to do Fridays there.
Yeah, you know Carl.
Of course.
Yeah, I think that's how we probably
That's how
got
we met.
I think that's how we met.
Yeah.
So
Carl
you said
gets
it
us-
yourself, like when
So I was
someone,
about to get into a story. Fuck you.
Yeah, sorry.
So
I wasn't finished my question.
We get into Mercer, right? It's me and Cash are there.
Yeah.
We get into Mercer, and Carl brings us through the back, like side door, right? I think we're like, oh, you know?
Yeah.
So he gets to the side door, right? And we get in, and, you know, drink tickets, all this, the whole shebang, you know, the vibes. And then he's like, yo, Drake's here, right? And we're like, all right, well.
When was
like,
this?
This was like when the whole Come Down the Move started happening. I was like 19 or some shit, right? And we look to our right, and we see Drake, like, and he's like 10 feet away from us, right? And me and Cash are like, what the fuck? And he's like, yo.
He called you over?
He's like, yo, give us a little so we could walk up. We didn't get into his booth. Like, he was in a booth on top of a booth kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I think you might know that section, right?
Yeah,
in a booth
yeah.
on top of a booth.
Yeah,
So we
I
walk
know
up the
exactly.
stair, and we just stop there. We get stopped, whatever. We get a couple drinks from that section, and we come back down. And for the rest of the night, I felt like God was holding he was holding me by my shoulders, walking around. I was like, these peasants can't move around. Crazy.
I just said what up to Drake.
I didn't even, he gave me a head nod. He acknowledged my existence.
That's hilarious.
You are not like me and you.
Not the
Different, not the same. That was my.
You're in a Yaris, I'm in a Yaris.
You're in a Yaris, I'm in a Yaris. And then the friggin' Raptors game. That was the only time I've had my Drake interactions. But yeah, dude, it's a different. It's like, yeah, he always has the biggest tits in the room, like he says.
It's
Always has the biggest tits in the room, no matter
So
what.
do you both you
it's
guys
stress,
think?
man.
Do you think there's ever going to be another artist come out of Toronto that's going to maybe touch his level or surpass him even?
it's in today's world, I think it'd be really hard
Yeah.
for that to happen. I mean, he legitimately changed the game.
No, yeah.
Yeah, forever.
Like, and again, like I said earlier, like the market is so oversaturated. It's just so hard for like new artists to break through. And it's crazy to me how long like this guy has been
He
at the
hasn't
top
stopped
of the game too. Like
for so long.
you know, like he's always
going.
fresh and always like
AI generated music.
Yeah,
Is probably him is fucking killing it right now.
he's actually had the AI
doesn't even have to
technology
make the
for like 10 years.
He hasn't recorded in fucking 10 years.
He just gives vocal samples for them to fucking
Try this
work
out.
off of.
Imagine that. That'd be hilarious.
Why just we disappeared a couple days? Like they found out.
I actually agree with Jed on that, especially because I feel like trends are just move so quick and now too that it's like nobody's I don't think there's gonna be, let alone out of Toronto, but like ever gonna be an artist that can like really make that, like, I guess, breakthrough, you can say, or like,
I mean, that being
make
said,
a mark like
if I mean, he was the one who broke open the doors for, if there is someone who can do it, he's the one who opened the door for that. So.
It's gonna be one special motherfucker. Though.
Who's that new kid that he just did a track with? White boy, what's his name?
Who, Drake did a track with him?
Texas Down.
I have no idea.
Oh shit!
At the racetrack.
Oh, Harlow.
Jack Harlow. Shit,
yeah.
I brain fart.
Yeah.
I mean, like he might like he has a structure to kind of do what Drake did a little bit. Like Lil Wayne,
he's good, but I don't know. I don't see it.
I don't think he has the mass appeal that
Drake like because Drake has black and white people,
exactly.
right? Like,
Jews and Jamaicans.
He's got
Jews and Jamaicans.
He's got all of Forest Hill on his side.
Unbelievable, dude. Like, he's American, Canadian, Jews, and Jamaicans. Like, dude, you got it all in a headlock right now. But let's bring it back to the Jays and let's get off of the music for a second.
Okay.
Let's talk about your last season. And I really want to see how'd you feel about what happened in the last season? Just blowing it up. Like, can you talk on it? Can you have an opinion on the poor play?
You know what? I mean, I'm not going to give an opinion on that. Like, those guys,
they worked hard.
They did. Like, they played their hearts out, and it's, that's, I don't think it's people will say what they want to say, but like, to go out there and like do what they do every day
I couldn't.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's shit. And it's a grind.
Yeah.
It's a long
90
season.
mile an hour balls at your face.
Fucked up.
What I will say though is it was really, for me, I can only speak to how I felt, and man, it was devastating. Like, because I was amped up.
You're like, right. Yes, there.
Like
you had it in the hand.
I felt good. We can.
We're getting there,
and especially we were up that game. But yeah, it was really disappointing. It was sad, man. Like, but. That being said, I'm really excited for what this season holds.
And you said it's been 10 years you've been with them?
Yeah, just over. Yeah.
In the 10 years, what's been the most like exciting moment you've witnessed? For me, I specifically remember the Batista bat flip.
So I was going to say
that was crazy.
I remember one.
Were you there?
No, I was at Banknote Bar. With my mom. I remember.
You know what? It's funny because people always ask me about this, and it was crazy. Like the energy
for the bat flip.
Yeah, like the energy in the
fucking insane.
I remember like the building felt.
I can only imagine.
But
5.0 earthquake.
Yeah. Like the crazy thing though is because I was working, right?
Right.
So I was so locked in.
Right. You didn't really get to witness it.
I'm like, okay, what do I have to do next? What?
Yeah. Right.
Like, yeah. So
like, how do I match this energy that's going on?
That raises a very good
but then
question
also
too.
like there was like, so I mean, if you guys remember that game, there was a lot of controversy going on.
I don't remember the game. I just remember that fucking moment.
Okay, so there was a period where like things were getting thrown on the
yeah. I do remember that.
It was tense.
Yeah,
it was super tense. So like, you have to be careful, like like especially with like what I do.
You don't want to rile motherfuckers up.
You don't want to go even more with it. Yeah, and like you don't want to
field and shit.
Yeah, because people were really tense. So I had to be careful about that, and then I had to be thinking about like you said, like keeping the energy. And so,
do you remember what song you played after that?
I have. It's all a blur.
Yeah,
it's like I could look in maybe the history of the laptop, and I've even watched back the game. And kind of like being like, oh, okay. Like now I kind of remember a little, but it was because like I said, I was so focused on what I had to do that a lot of it's blurry for me.
Right.
Like you got the tunnel vision kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nothing outside this vision's really going in. But then when you start bat flip, I remember seeing that bat flip on. Cause I don't watch baseball personally.
I watch finals.
Yeah, I watch finals baseball. I do watch
It's a fun game.
It is a fun game. It is a fun game in the finals. In the finals, I'm like, yeah, this is sick. But at the time, I was watching basketball. But I remember I saw the bat flip, and it was like the first time I saw like emotion, in baseball, where like because you see the motherfuckers get dunked on, and suck. You know what I'm saying? Like, doing the little shit, and it was like, oh, look at that shit. That's so gangster.
Yeah.
When Batista smacked that out the park and he just flipped the bat.
Yeah, that shit was
I was
legend.
like, oh,
It was legendary.
yeah, like
It
I was very first time I saw some emotion from a baseball player in the act of playing baseball, and I was like, this isn't that bad.
So back to my question, quick. Would you say that was probably one of the most exciting moments?
Yeah.
In your 10 years? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
There's nothing that can compare to that. I mean,
I'll never forget that shit, man. Never.
But I don't. I really wish I could remember it a little bit more the way the fans do, but I remember it from the perspective of doing my job. So it's
dope.
like, but it was cool, man.
Yeah.
Like my heart was pumping and like just
Crazy
so 15 years in this game. Let's round it to 15. Let's round it to 15. Up or down?
maybe closer to 20.
All right, let's go 20. Let's go 20 in this game.
I keep forgetting it's 2023. So
No, right?
I mean, not quite 20. But.
So I'm gonna keep it 15.
but we
Folks,
lost
on
3.
record, it's 15. All right. So in 5 years from now, where do you see Jed Harper? Do you see Jed Harper, still holding Rebel down? Do you see Jed Harper still holding Blue Jays down and still being that like, let's say, household name for, when people to expect? Like, I know there's motherfuckers that go to Rebel every Saturday being like, I'm going to go, Jed Harper's going to spin. People come from Hamilton.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get my fix, right? Like,
I hope so.
I'm going to get my, you know what I mean? What do you see yourself in 5 years?
Maybe another team?
No, definitely no. Never.
This guy has the longest contract, bro.
True.
You can't switch teams after this.
No, never, no. I mean, like, hopefully Rebel is still going strong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love like that. There's nothing that beats that. That's
the biggest.
It's crazy.
It's so fucking nice, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a cool venue, and like, there's nothing else like it in the country. So yeah, I definitely hope to still be a part of it. And shout out to my partner in crime, Stokes.
Yeah,
the MC.
Is he the MC?
Yeah. So we're kind of doing a project together, like calling it Harper and Stokes, and we're working on some music together, and also like just kind of like tightening up the brand a little bit with that. And then so obviously still doing Jed Harper music as well. I actually have a release coming out next week.
Dope. Plug that
shameless
shit right
plug.
Now. Yeah, no, plug
shameless
that shit.
plug.
That's why we're here, baby.
Plug.
I mean, you are the plug, right?
Hey.
So
We're gonna tap on that towards the end, and we're gonna let everyone know what you're getting into towards for the summer, what you got into.
But yeah, in the next 5 years, definitely, hopefully holding it down. I mean, there's like I do Cabana in the summer.
Shit, you're fucking everywhere.
Oh, dude, you just take care of the boys for Cabana?
Oh yeah.
Oh, fucking right, dude.
Jeez.
I just show off this body that I've been working on for a minute now, dude.
Physique by
Please,
Physique by Pope.
come hang out anytime.
Man, awesome. I miss those days. Remember those days? Holy shit.
Yeah, man.
Holy shit.
So-
But yeah, so 5 years, man.
Yeah, like I mean, I want to get back traveling a little more, touring a little bit more.
Gates are opening up.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's really hard in the baseball season to do that.
Yeah.
Because my schedule, and then like
You're fucking
again, like
locked in.
Cabana, Rebel, baseball. It's like holy crap! Like I don't even have time
And
to
then you
breathe.
have like maybe 48 hours a week for yourself.
But yeah,
maybe?
in the like fall and winter, like I want to get back to like maybe touring a bit more.
That's fucking sweet.
And then yeah, like I said, like with the music coming out, hopefully I can tie that into some of that stuff.
Do you think you might have the power to kind of host your own festival here in Toronto, like something on a smaller
I
scale?
don't know about that.
Like maybe.
I mean, like, hey, nothing's out of the question.
Nothing's
but
out of the question.
I
You
mean,
can maybe pull some strings, go to some, like, hey, Glow or
yeah,
like,
like,
hey, let's
there's some cats that are like super inspiring me right now. Like
who?
like on a local level, like Four Corners from the Raptors, he's doing some great things. And that, like, I know Charlie B was doing
Charlie
his thing.
B's doing his
like,
thing for sure.
and like the way those guys have like turned it into like man, Charlie's like doing fundraisers and all this kind
He's
of
definitely
stuff, and like
bringing a
I
ton
love
of artists
that.
to the forefront.
I
know
love that
he
so
did
much.
For Rolling Loud the past summer. He had something about that, bringing a lot of like local talent to the forefront for
I
that.
love everything he's doing to help support like the
You definitely have the power to do that, man. I feel like maybe
it's time, I guess. And energy.
48 hours for yourself in a week. You might want to take some sleep, nigga.
So yeah, just like, you know, I think nothing's out of the question. I think right now my main focus is like getting some more music out and you know, building on that, and who knows after that like where it can go. So
I love that, man. I love that, dude. I'm super happy. I'm super stoked that you're. I'm super stoked that you're not the same cat, right? Because we've known each other for a minute, but I'm super stoked that you haven't really changed, as in like being like an asshole or being like a dickhead. Like,
I hope not,
because you're just getting bigger though. Like you're getting bigger, you're getting more known. Like, bro, I'm hearing Jed Harper here, I'm hearing Jed Harper there. I'm like, I know that guy. Like, yeah, right, buddy, get out of here. But I'm like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're very genuine, very down to earth. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy that the clout demon hasn't caught your ass, because it catches.
It catches human. It catches a lot of people.
It catches a lot of people.
Trust me.
It's scary out here.
I know. Trust me.
You guys ever feel the clout demon creeping up on you?
Check yourself.
Go
to Cam H.
Hit up Jed Harper. I'm pretty sure he'll give you some words of advice, man.
I try, man. I try.
Whereabouts are we?
We're at 55 minutes.
All right, that's healthy.
Oh.
So
it feels like it's been way longer.
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
So
I thought that too.
Way longer.
Yeah.
I thought we were like,
because we were like having the convo before.
Yeah, we were. So let's tap in, like, guys. Jed, drop your Instagram, your handle.
Yeah.
Some things that's going on this summer that people can really reach you out and really get to see your craft, you in action.
Yeah.
Just drop it onto the people here, and yeah.
Okay. So keep it simple at Jed Harper on pretty much all the socials. But yeah, that's the easiest way to find me. Upcoming, we got Coila Ray coming up at Rebel. That's gonna be dope.
Your favorite.
Yeah. Yo.
Next to Ice Buddy.
I'm
second favorite.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then obviously, like I said, like Cabana in the summer will be going off. Like they'll be really, like, I think they'll be putting a lot of talent.
A movie.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Never been.
Stokes will be so happy that you said that.
Oh man, dude,
he loves that. That's his. That's his tag. I guess it's our tag. Harper and Stokes. It's always a movie. Yeah.
Oh god, dude, it's always a movie. We didn't talk about this beforehand. But yeah, continue, man.
But yeah, and then like I mentioned, like I got a record coming out next week on a label based out in LA called Brainjack Music, and
pre-save link.
The pre-save link is available. Yeah,
in the bio.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like I flipped an old Brandy record called
this guy pulled out the vault. Eh?
Yeah.
How'd you get clearance on that?
So we re-sang it. I worked with this awesome singer. Her name's Giles.
Okay.
And she re-sang the parts, and
sick.
Yeah, we kind of flipped it into this like UK house, like piano house kind of vibe.
Super dope.
And then I have another like sort of exclusive version that'll come out later.
That's fucking sweet, man. It sounds like you got yourself a handful of
Yeah. And then Stokes and I were in the studio yesterday recording some new tracks, and keeping it like high energy, you know, like for the club, like
for the club, movement.
Yeah. So get the big CO2 blasts, and
man, I can't wait for. I haven't been. Last time I was at Rebel, we were doing I did the Skepta show.
Oh, sick.
And Playboy Cardi.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago. BBK, man.
Yeah.
Fucking times. Riff Raff was in the back room.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I have a video of that. I was.
You were just telling me about this story.
Yeah, that guy is fucking.
I want to meet him.
I love.
He is huge.
I want to meet him.
He is a bigger human being,
like physically.
Like
yeah.
He's a big.
I mean, he was supposed to play.
I never seen him in person like that. That's
Stop doing cocaine.
Bigger human.
He was supposed to play in the NBA.
For real?
Really?
Yeah. He talks about it all the time.
He's a big ass motherfucker.
He played. I think he played NCAA. I think he did, yeah.
But all the rest of us got like punies. Yeah. Man, no, Jed, it was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Great topics, great conversation. I think a lot of people are gonna have some questions. Leave all the questions down in the comments, guys. We'll definitely get to them. You guys got his handle. Reach out to him. He's very tangible as a human being, but don't bombard the guy. I'm on your
fucking
ass.
Groupie.
I do my best to answer everybody.
And guys, look, this is just an example of hard work and consistency turns into luck, and you got to just be in the right position and well prepared to make sure it happen.
Yeah.
And look at that. You got a career out of
15 plus years
15
later.
years, 15 plus years, and we aren't stopping anytime soon. Yo, Jed.
Oh, damn right.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, brother.
Honestly, appreciate it.
Thank
All
you.
love.
Nice to meet you, my guy.
Boom. And that's a wrap. Another episode of the Shop Boys. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on this fashion-filled journey for real.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed the episode and maybe learned something new about either us or the guests. Please be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and
don't forget to leave us a review on the Apple Podcast or whatever you're listening from. Your feedback helps us improve the show and reach more listeners for real.
If you want to stay in the loop on all things Shop Boys, be sure to follow our shop at Relocation Toronto on social media. We're going to be sharing sneak peeks, behind the scenes content, and announcements about upcoming episodes.
And even more exclusive perks, join our Patreon community. As a member, you'll get discounts on high-end vintage clothing from our store Relocation and early access to our new arrivals.
Thanks again for listening to Shop Boys. We'll be back soon with more interviews, more vintage finds, and more fashion insights. Until then, stay stylish and keep on shopping and watching.
Like God.